You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's $1 Million Listing After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's $1 Million Listing After Show.
I feel like I should start voguing or something.
I know, right?
Here.
It's like hard to stay seated.
Ooh, Gaga. They got money.
Hello. Welcome to the $1 Million Listing AFTERBUZZ After Show. We are grooving here to a little Lady Gaga. I am your host, Jocelyn Polite, and I am joined by the beautiful and lovely co-host here, Lauren.
Hey, guys.
Okay, so this week's episode was it had a lot going on. I found myself writing fast.
Oh, me too.
Did you feel yourself? I mean, I felt like I was scribbling.
I did. Yeah, there was a lot of information going on.
Yes, it was.
A lot of drama.
Well, let's start with our high-power Swedish broker, Fredrik.
So this is season 3, episode 9, I Dream of Jeanne.
I Dream of Jeanne. Mm-hmm. Ooh, and we're going to tell you why. Okay, well.
I think it's what
Fredrik. I can't even.
Fredrik should do when he wants properties. He should just go.
Yeah, he should, and he gets them. He gets them. So, okay, well, we're going to start off with Fredrik. He was in his car with Fernando, who's his driver, and he's headed to Brooklyn.
Yep.
And there are a lot of expensive townhomes and a park in this park. Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
So Brooklyn's all about the townhomes, and townhouses are just beautiful. It's kind of just this picturesque New York that we all kind of love. But Brooklyn is just really hot right now, and it's huge, which people don't realize. There are so many different parts, and they all vary in diversity, look, you name it. And Park Slope, which is where this property is it's one of the hottest places to live right now. It's got lots of families. My sister actually lives there. She loves it. So whenever I go and visit, and it's just such a cool area. Cute shops, great restaurants. It's definitely on the top of people's lists nowadays.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot for Brooklyn. So Brooklyn is really upgraded, right?
Oh, totally upgraded.
Okay.
Where I'm from is the one place it hasn't been touched yet. Last stop on the R train, Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Oh, the R train.
We haven't become hipster yet.
She's got the knowledge. I love it. We've got some Big Apple knowledge here. Well, Fredrik he has a listing appointment with Jeanne. Hence the name of the episode. Yes. I Dream of Jeannie. Or we're not quite sure, but Jeanne. Okay.
I'm going with Jeanne.
I'm going to go with Jeanne too, because it seems she looks like a Jeanne too also. Okay, well, there's this gorgeous townhouse. Huge.
4 floors.
Yeah, and 6 bedrooms.
Yeah.
3,400 square feet.
Only 2.5 bathrooms, though, which I was surprised with when you have 6 bedrooms.
Right.
It's a lot of fighting over who gets the shower first.
It is. And then there's 4 fireplaces in this in here. And there's a lot of carved woodwork. I like the woodwork of it. It's old. It's an old,
built in the 1800s.
So
it's
definitely
been around
old.
for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely old. There's been some restoration on it.
Needs some Botox.
But yeah, it does. It needs injections in many places.
Yeah.
But it's a good frame for what it can be. And some of the bathrooms were they looked dated. They looked really old.
Yeah.
So you've got to work on this place.
It was a mixture of things. And I know she said they put renovations in, but except for that kitchen, the kitchen was super modern. It was pretty beautiful. But the rest of it, though homey, looked a bit run down.
Yeah,
I
thought so too. And I did see that there was some modernization to the place, but the place, to be honest with you, looked a little bipolar. I mean, it was just kind of like, modern and new in some rooms. Then it was just kind of like old and run down in other rooms. So I couldn't get a good sense of like where it was actually headed. It was like unfinished.
I was surprised that Fredrik took this property. And I guess it makes sense because he wants to really build the relationship with this woman. And as he said, it's probably the first place in Park Slope in Brooklyn to go over $4 million.
Wow.
Which is a big deal. And, you know, he wants
Yes.
to be on the cutting edge of things. But I was surprised that this was something he was delving into.
I'm surprised too. I'm really surprised that he took this property. I think the townhomes there go for about 1,000 per square foot.
Yeah,
and
1,000 per square foot.
He's going for about 1,200.
Yeah. So he was coming in saying, okay, listen, 4.1. Maybe 4.3, and as we know from watching $1 Million Listing, she wasn't having it.
Oh no! She wanted 4.5 million,
Yep.
and not a penny less. She didn't, and he was saying you're pricing it too high. It's not going to sell for that. You're going to get something under that.
Yeah.
For sure. But she's very serious. And Fredrik, the other thing that's interesting here is that Fredrik wants to get into development. I think he sees the money that Zach is making, and he's like, hey, I want to get into development. This is exactly what I want to do, similar to what he had with the properties that he sold in this building, and they haven't sold the townhouse. I mean, I'm sorry, the penthouse quite yet.
Yeah, because when you have multiple things that you can sell at once, that way you can just keep banging them out. So sure, one thing's $4 million, and that might be nothing to him, but you get $4 million and another $4 million and another $4 million. He's like, I'll take that.
Yeah, so he wants to get into development, and this woman has some future properties as well. So I think that's why he headed to Brooklyn. So he's got this property, and it's very family oriented. So we're not really in the Manhattan penthouse, you know, where it's very sexy. This is more of like
Brooklyn's
a family.
where you go with your stroller. It's just, it's a great place to raise kids. That's controversial, but I think it's a great place to raise kids.
Well, it looks like it.
Yeah.
It looks tree-lined streets, and I mean, it really does look like it. So we have to see what's going to happen with this particular property because I wasn't expecting him to take it, like you said, but you know, here we go. So we move on with Fredrik and find him at dinner or having drinks with Derek, his husband Derek. And they're still dealing with the baby issue.
Yeah, and listen, I get where Derek's coming from. He's got this job, this career path that he's really passionate about and he wants to focus on. And sure, Fredrik wants to have a baby, but we all know how busy Fredrik is. Derek's like, I don't want to be a stay-at-home dad. I'm finally getting my career going. Why would I want to shoulder that responsibility when I know, no matter what you say, he'll constantly be working?
Well, before we go on deeper into Fredrik, we're going to get a little treat from, we have a book here from Maria Menounos, and we're going to cut to a commercial first, and then I'll be right back to talk about the book.
Hey guys, Maria Menounos here, and I want to share my newest book, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, with you. Basically, every woman always stops me and asks me how I lost 40 pounds. So I decided to put it all in one book. Everything I did to lose 40 pounds step by step, and how you can too, is in here. I did it with no time, no money, and no willpower, and now I'm going to show you how to do it too. You can pre-order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, wherever books are sold, and it's out June 3rd. So I hope you guys love it. I hope it helps you in your weight loss journey, and please, please tweet me and update me on your progress at Maria Menounos. Thanks.
Okay, and we have the book here by Maria Menounos, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness. And this is a great book, you guys. You have to see this. I mean, it has pictures, and I'm one of those people. I consider myself to be intelligent, but I like pictures, and she has pictures in here and recipes, which we love because sometimes we're not exactly sure how to cook all these meals. So you've got to get this book and check it out. And this is from a best-selling author, and we all know Maria Menounos, so pick up your copy.
She also has a lot of abs on the cover. Like,
She
I
looks
want those
amazing.
abs.
Right,
I think
me
I need to
too.
get that book because summer's coming and my abs don't look like that.
I know.
So,
I'm like, let me put this in my purse.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
someone's getting on Amazon after this show.
So pick up a copy. All right. Let's get back to Fredrik. All right. So we've got the baby issue.
Oh, the baby issue.
Now, I'm like you. I agree 100% with the whole Derek thing. Derek knows that he is going to be a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
you know, there is nothing that's going to stop Fredrik from going out there and selling properties. And he's in a zone right now, and he's doing really well right now with these properties and making a lot of money and a lot of commissions. So Derek knows he's going to be the one to sit at home.
Oh, yeah. And of course, when the baby comes, then it becomes a thing, well, I have to provide for the baby. So that's why I'm working and providing for the baby, which is true, but also validates what Derek is saying.
Exactly. And I think Derek even asked him, well, you know, how's this going to work out? Am I going to stay at home? What's going to happen? Fredrik says, well, no, it's going to be half and half. It's going to be equal. And he knows darn well it is not going to be equal. It is going to be Derek at home, and he's going to have to sacrifice his art career.
But I love how Fredrik just isn't taking it. He goes, oh, fine, it's over. And then the next thing we see, he's in a baby store.
Oh.
He detours into a baby store and buys over $300 in baby clothes.
For Mila.
For Mila.
Because her name is Mila, and she's got gorgeous brown curls and tiny little hands, because God forbid she'd have big hands. So that's, yeah, that's Mila. So
She
he's
must
shopping.
be dainty.
She's definitely going to be dainty.
Yeah.
But they're shopping, and he's with his assistant, Jordan, and they're discussing Brooklyn and how they're going to kind of, you know, do this whole pitch to everyone for this Brooklyn townhouse. And he gets caught up in the baby clothes. And his assistant thinks he's crazy because he's like, the baby's not here. Like, your husband isn't even sure he wants a baby. What are you doing buying baby clothes? And he's having a ball in
And
the
Fredrik
store.
just gets a light bulb.
Yeah.
When he's in there. He's like, okay, I'm going to make this work for me. So he's going to take this townhouse, which he sees as a strong house for a family.
Yeah.
And he's going to bring Derek there. So Derek can paint with the kids. He can draw with the kids and really get the feeling of what it would be like to have children while Derek goes and sells properties. Or Fredrik goes and sells properties. But we realize what Fredrik isn't getting is that he's proving him right.
He's making his point. And I was sitting here going, I consider Fredrik to be just the most brilliant strategist. But he was all wrong on this one, because you're going to leave Derek with the kids, which we saw him do. So the clients would come in. He would take the children over to Derek, where Derek paints and all that with the children, which is really cute, and it's a great idea. And then he takes the parents upstairs and shows them the townhouse. Well, you're leaving the kids with Derek. That's exactly what he's afraid of. So
Exactly.
No kudos on this one.
The second he came up with the idea, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And then I went, oh no.
Right. Like, what are you doing? And he's like,
no.
stay with Uncle Derek. Stay with Uncle Derek.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, that was the issue at hand, and he just brought light to the issue. But you know what? Derek had a great time with the kids, and he is really good with kids, I can see.
He is.
So, well, and Fredrik seemed to fall more and more in love with him, watching him with the children. So,
Oh, yeah. He's getting emotional.
yeah. And Fredrik decides he's going to stop pushing, because he's been pushing the issue. He's cried over it.
I
He's
don't know if I
distraught.
believe he's going to stop pushing the issue. He doesn't seem like the type to stop pushing.
No.
I think they'll eventually get there.
I think they'll get there too. I just think he needs to give it some time, and he's really got to prove to him that he's going to be a partner in this situation with a child, and not just kind of like throw the child off to Derek and have Derek in the home taking care of him. But what about them walking in on someone in the bathroom? What was that?
With the old lady opening the door.
I mean, that's like it's one of my worst nightmares. Someone walking in on me in the bath. I mean, so I was
can't
sitting
tell
there
you
going,
how many
wow.
times that's happened to me.
Are you
Because I just
serious?
always forget to lock the door. It just, at this point, I just laugh.
That's good. I'm not laughing. That scared me. I was like, wow, okay. So, actually, do you want to move to Ryan or Luis?
Yeah, let's talk about Ryan.
Okay,
Ryan, woo! This is a big episode for Ryan.
Yeah.
So the Sky Garage, which he's just been so excited about, so he could finally sell this huge property, $23 million.
Wow.
And the Sky Garage is finally finished, which means it's time for his commercial.
This commercial.
Oh my goodness. So he finds out that the commercial's ready to be filmed, but it's Tuesday. And they're like, great, Sky Garage done, let's get shooting. And he's going to shoot that weekend. So he calls in a production team and he says, okay, great. This is what I want. I want helicopters. I want a Lamborghini. I want this whole entire vision. By the way, the house isn't actually done yet, only the garage. And let's start shooting on Friday.
Absolutely. And let's start shooting on Friday. $25,000 for this commercial.
Yeah.
And I mean, he does. He has a Ferrari in it. I mean, he wants this to, what he's trying to do is sell the property to the international community. He wants, he wants that. So he's got to really make it, sexy and great and, all of that. And this is a property where he a few episodes ago, put some purple lights on it to try to get everyone to kind of look and go, what's that? That's gorgeous. Right. He's trying to make it flashy. This place is totally unfinished. There's nothing about it that's done. It's under construction. And then there's this sky vault, which is everything. And he's talking about the sky vault, which I don't understand. But, you know, I'm not a millionaire. I don't understand the sky vault. What is that? And why do we need it? You have to be rich to know?
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah.
All right.
Keep your Playboys. I don't know. Keep your... Something valuable. Your gold bricks.
Is that what it is?
You stash your like gold bricks in the basement. That's what they do in the movies.
That's interesting. I don't know.
I would get fake gold bricks and I would stack them in my sky vault.
I don't understand a sky vault. I just don't see a need for it.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. But I know that you want to have things that make your property unique.
Of course.
And I get that. And it's like glass floor. And he's walking on the glass floor. It doesn't look stable to me. It scared me, to be honest.
Oh, my goodness. That would freak me out. I would always be afraid that it was going to break underneath me and I would plunge to my death.
Right.
Yeah.
And it looks like it, too. But it's supposed to be this, like, amazing thing. There's panels lifting.
I would hope it's stable.
It's like gadgets and everything happening. Looks really futuristic.
Oh, yeah. And he's like a little kid in a toy shop. He's so excited.
Yeah, I thought he was going to, like, Fred Astaire tap, you know, on the front of it. Like, oh. I mean, he just looked like he was just going for it. But, I mean, I guess it looks great if you're into that. Let me put it like this because, you know, it's not about me. But it has a stairway. It opens up to a stairway that goes down into this like mystery vault, and you know, and like you said, I guess you stack your gold and silver and diamonds in there. Okay,
I'm sure there's better use for that, but yes.
Well, at first this property had some Australians that were kind of the developers of this and everything. Something happened. They got really impatient with the construction process
because it was taking too long.
Exactly. So there's new developers on it on the property.
Yes. Yeah. So these guys are coming in to film this thing, and they're in a huge time crunch to get all this stuff done. But, you know, Ryan's like, just do it. And they say, okay. And somehow they pull this off. And they get to filming. And I just love, Ryan just didn't know what he was in for. Film sets, you're on there for a bit. It takes a minute.
Which, you know what, I'm shocked because Ryan comes from an acting background. He actually acted in soap operas, you know.
So he should know.
Well, he should know, although soap operas film very
faster.
Yeah, they are. They're faster. So he's probably used to just kind of getting in and out. But yeah, it takes a long time. I think they were on like, I don't even know how many takes it took. I think they were on like take 35 at some point. And it was like growing
just from
into
the car, like you said, from here to here to here to here.
I know. He said, he goes,
mind.
we're like spending 6 hours and, you know, just to go from here to here. And the next thing you see, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning before they actually get to filming the part between the woman and the man.
Yeah.
So, you know, it took a long
part of
time.
everything.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And in the end, it was $51,000 for this commercial.
Wow.
But, I mean, it's a $690,000 commission. So if he
That's
sells
huge.
it, you know, that $51,000, he's not going to miss it.
No, and if you really think about it, it's $25,000 for this commercial. Well, it came to $51,000.
$51,000.
But still,
so you paid double.
$690,000.
Yeah, at that point, it was well worth it.
Exactly.
If that's what's going to sell it. But I love how he did a little screener of his commercial.
Cute, yeah.
He was so excited with the popcorn and the drinks and just everybody. And he was really nervous. I would be too. I would be so nervous if I created this thing, especially the anticipation for it. He's been waiting to do this for so long. What if everyone hated it?
And the thing I loved about it, like you said, you know, Emilia, the popcorn, was artsy, but I would be nervous about it too because you have all these people that have showed up to see your vision.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, is my vision good? Is it good enough for everyone? So I understood him. He looked like he was sweating a bit and trying to get it together because there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, there were a lot of people. But everybody was, you know, clapping and cheering, and hopefully it was genuine. It was a pretty cool commercial.
Yeah,
so
let's talk about the commercial. I thought it was
pretty sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm thinking
Selling
for
a lifestyle.
a $23 million property, it has very cool aspects to it. The vault, you know, the sky
Obviously.
vault, the garage. Well, this is the part that I think is the garage that you drive into, and it's an elevator, and it parks itself upstairs. Nice. I like that. Ooh, I could just get in my car and it takes me right to my door. I like that.
You just better have a nice car because that's going to be on display. But if you're getting that house, chances are you have a nice car.
Exactly. I think they should throw a car in, to be honest, as part of the package. But that, that's just me. But I think that the commercial was kind of cool. It kind of started off with, this couple, and she wants to show him this place, and it had helicopters and flying over, and a sexy dinner, and then they end up going to the Sky Vault, and you can see all of that. It was pretty nice. I liked
what I liked about it, because the whole premise was them one-upping each other on gifts, but I like that the woman was the one who kind of won.
Yeah.
She was the one who was like, oh, this necklace, it's nice, but look at this.
Exactly. Like, oh, that's a nice necklace. Put this aside because actually I have a helicopter. Yes. I like that. Yeah, that was nice. That was very nice. Well, that brings us to Luis. We have to see what happens with this property with Ryan, because we have to see who's going to actually get it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see whether the commercial works or not, and who ends up buying it. Who's attracted to it?
What's going to happen?
Okay, fascinating.
Well, we'll see. All right. Well, let's move on to Luis. He is still with the Joneses.
Still in Puerto Rico.
He's in Puerto Rico, and he's with the Joneses, and we're still dealing with this 2.5, 4.1 property. We pick up with them dancing on the dance floor, kind of like
getting in their fight,
fighting and dancing at the same time, and they're outside having a discussion. And I have to say that, like, Luis was a pretty good mediator.
He was. He did a good job.
Yeah.
He could really calm them down and shed some light into the whole situation. And he said, hey, listen, you love the 2.5 million. You're so excited about it. What if we just checked it out again? Why not just considering it again? And Kathleen was up for it.
Yeah, she was. I was really surprised about that.
I was too. I thought she was, as per our predictions last week, you and I thought she was going to go for the 4.1 and get her way.
I thought she was going to get her way.
Yeah.
I thought she kind of had her husband wrapped around her little finger or whatever, but he kind of stood strong on that.
He
and
did.
It is a nice property, the 2.5.
It's beautiful.
It's a gorgeous property. But before we go any further, let's get into iTunes. If you are on iTunes and you're watching us or listening to us, or you're on YouTube, please hit subscribe on YouTube. Please comment, rate us on iTunes. We love to get your comments. We hope that you enjoy the show. We love giving you this show, and we would love 5 stars. We hope you would give us 5 stars and comment. We would love the feedback. We love to talk about the show. So make sure that you hit us up and let us know what you think. All right. So let's continue with Luis. How about these buyers and this offer? Now, I loved this part of it. I loved the whole offer. This was interesting because the St. Regis plays a whole different game. There is no negotiation, not too much with them.
Well, they don't have to.
No.
They're such an established brand, and the people who use them just will come to them over and over and time again. And they know that, so they don't have any real reason to budge.
No, not at all. And they offered, I think the villa was 2.5 million, and the offer that the Joneses came in with was 2.4,
which I thought they would take because it's barely under what they were asking for.
$100,000 under. I mean, really, with all the properties and all the money on that resort and that estate, I thought that
especially
that was going to go.
in cash right away.
Right. And you have eager buyers like that are ready to purchase. You know that they don't live there, so they've got to get back home. So you know it's going to go fast.
Exactly.
But the resort
they said they're upping their prices.
Was like, no, we're actually upping our prices. Right. We're going to increase our prices. So we're definitely not going under.
Yeah.
And I love how I love how Dr. Jones was like, this kind of feels like a used car salesman gimmick. He was like, I don't like this.
Well, I get that. I would feel that way as well. But, we, of course, heard the conversation they had, and it seemed like the guy meant business. And Luis certainly thought that he was not bluffing at all. So, they were going to have to go up to the 2.5.
Yeah.
And but I get it. They're here. They're buying this property. They want something to sweeten the deal if they're paying full asking price.
Well, they offered them a golf cart,
and a full golf membership,
and a 6-person golf cart. And
Mr. Jones likes to golf.
And he loves to golf, so they fed into that. And I think the golf cart was worth $12,000. The golf membership is worth $10,000. But I would think if you buy a property at the St. Regis, wouldn't you just be able to play golf there?
That's what I would think, but I guess apparently not.
Wow, because I would think that. I would think you would just, I think that would come with it, but I guess not. I mean, maybe, there's a tennis fee too. I don't know. I
think it's strange. I would think that if you're paying $2.5 million for a home, that it would, that one of the selling points are all the amenities that they offer. So it's strange to me that that wouldn't be included.
Exactly.
But I also know nothing about golf.
Well, me either, but now they also got a club membership for spa service. So there was something in it for her because, you know, we ladies have to have
we need
ours
our
too. You can't just
spa.
start handing out golf stuff to him.
Oh,
You got to
yeah.
take care of us too. So there's some spa amenities that she has, which is great because, I mean, who wouldn't love to have unlimited, I'm assuming it's unlimited spa.
And I don't think she would have been cool with just she gets a golf cart.
No.
No, and I don't blame her.
No, so this is a deal. They went back and forth, you know, about it, and once
had to
those
close
were
that
thrown
day.
in, they had to close that day.
Well, they were leaving anyway.
They
so,
were, yeah. So the representative and you know, broker for the St. Regis said, in order for you to get the golf cart, the spa membership, you have to close today. So they made the decision over lunch. It's a deal. There's no commission for Luis, but
it's done.
it's done.
Now we can go hang out. Which, by the way, can we talk about that view where they
Yes.
were having lunch?
Oh, it was beautiful.
I could barely pay attention to what was going on because I just kept thinking gorgeous ocean and champagne. It
I know.
just seems so perfect.
Well, it was.
So they're in for a
beautiful
treat
view.
at their new
Yeah.
property.
I mean, and how great to have a second home in Puerto Rico, and you bring the family and enjoy yourself. I mean, that's nice.
I think
I
they'll
like
be pretty
that.
excited about it.
Yeah, I think the kids will love it too.
Yeah. But then we saw Luis with his family, which was so cute. They're all dancing and drinking.
But they're fun. They look like a fun
yeah,
family.
they look like a really fun
Yeah.
family. They know how to party.
We got a snippet of them, but I have a feeling that they get the drinks going and they have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
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 And he has a big family too.
Yes,
He really
they're,
does.
They're not just playing with wine coolers. There's more. Yeah.
No. They're getting
going for
down.
the good
Yeah,
stuff.
there's some tequila.
Oh, yeah,
Tequila is
there's
definitely
tequila.
happening. Okay, well, an interesting thing happened because I know the past few, you know, over the season, we haven't had a lot of interaction between the brokers, but we had some interaction between Luis and Fredrik. So we go to Fredrik's office and he wants to help Luis.
Yes, he wants to take him as his. He wants to be Luis's mentor.
He wants Luis to be the Robin to his Batman.
Yes.
So he's like, he wants to help him, and he's saying he wants to take him under his wing, and he feels like he's doing pretty well. Luis, he feels like Luis is doing all right.
But he thinks he could do better.
But he thinks he could do better. They work for the same firm, real estate firm. Okay. So he wants to help him out and introduce him to Jeanne.
Yes.
Okay. But first he invites him there. Luis is suspect, which I don't blame him.
Of course.
Yeah. Like,
How
what
could
do
he
you want?
not be? And he says, listen, I don't trust you. And
Yeah.
you haven't given me reason to trust you. So what exactly are you offering me?
Right, like we fought last season, and if I'm not mistaken, like he threw something on him or whatever. So Luis is kind of like, I'm not understanding where you're coming from, and I'm really scared about the fact that you want to help me, because where is that coming from, and are you
course.
about to set me up?
And he also just went through all of this stuff with Ian. He's just tired. He's tired of being beaten down.
And insulted.
Yeah.
And insulted. And so, and if we know Fredrik the way that we do, it's an insult,
Yeah.
you know? So, okay, well, they meet Jeanne, who is the developer for the Brooklyn property that Fredrik is trying to sell, the townhouse.
Yes.
And he wants to discuss with Jeanne, like, hey, you know, here's a developer. She's got some up and coming properties. You should kind of link in with her. Now, I thought at this moment, just right when it happened, I thought, Fredrik, you don't feel like being in Brooklyn, and you're going to try to get Luis.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? You want to head back to Manhattan, and you want to get Luis to just go on and sell these townhouses down here. That's what you're really doing.
And Luis is like, here's this woman. She flips townhouses. What do I care? This
Right.
has no. This is what I asked for.
yeah, and he just had a humongous.
And then when Fredrik made the comment to him when Luis said, "You don't see townhouses like this in Manhattan."
oh my God!
Oh, and Fredrik is like, "This is in Manhattan."
He's like, this is Brooklyn. And he's like, yeah, I'm trying to tell you that you don't see townhouses like this in Manhattan. He's like, yeah, because we're in Brooklyn.
It was so embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. And then
Yeah.
Jeanne was like, oh, you're like a little Fredrik. And I was like, oh, not for Luis. He doesn't
Poor
want to
thing.
hear that.
Oh, gosh,
so,
no.
Yeah, and that he's up and coming. And Luis is like, hold on, I didn't just get my real estate
Yeah.
broker's license. Like, I've been a real estate agent for a while, and I've been quite successful, and I just sold a big property, you know, which we saw last season. So, you know, why are you dissing me, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of, you know, it was disrespectful.
I have to say, he's such a gentleman. He walked in and he was just so sweet and so kind, and he was really gracious throughout that entire interview. And towards the end, of course, he started to speak his mind a bit, but he did it respectfully, I thought.
He did. He definitely showed some class, and he, you know, he showed that he's professional, but he was very straight and to the point. He was basically telling Jeanne and Fredrik that I'm not really looking for townhouses. I'm looking for developments that are starting that are going to be big. I'm looking for the big developments. Of course, Fredrik is like, look, you got to start somewhere. You got to start small. When Zach and I started, we started with like a 5-unit building and, in Tribeca. And now we're selling, 40 million in Tribeca. So but Luis is like, I'm not trying to hear that. He wants to go for the gusto. Don't throw me your scraps, which I understand. So
they really get into it outside, though.
Well, this is where, first of all, I have to say, I agree with you. I really like the fact that Luis spoke up for himself. But, Luis went in outside. He threw all that out the door.
Oh, yeah.
He had it with
I think
Fredrik.
he kind of looked. He's like, is the door shut yet?
Right.
The second he saw
Because I don't
that,
want Jeanne to show that I'm about to dig up. Right. I'm about to get you. So
he was like, don't you dare.
Yeah. And so they went at it outside. And I didn't know if they were going to start fighting, like kicking in 4 weddings and a funeral. Remember? And they start kicking each other. It looked like, because they're both dressed nice. And, you look like they're going to like kick each other.
It did seem like that might start to happen.
Yeah. But he went off and he actually ended by calling Fredrik a selfish bitch.
Yep.
I was shocked.
I wasn't.
No?
No.
Because Luis, like, sometimes he takes it like a punching bag, and I was just kind of like,
no,
but he was mad.
Listen, he built up some tough skin with Ian going through all of that, and I'm sure he learned a lot of lessons from that, and I think he's just sick and tired of it, and he knows that he's got something to bring to the table, and he's not going to let people treat him that way.
No, he's not, and he knows what he's interested in. He is not interested in townhouses. He wants a development from the floor up, and he doesn't want to take Fredrik's scraps. And let's be honest, he doesn't trust Fredrik.
No.
He just doesn't. So
and
it's
after today's show, I kind of agree with him.
I agree with him too.
Even though I love Fredrik. I really do love Fredrik. But
yeah,
Luis and Fredrik probably shouldn't play together on the playground.
No. Well, Luis and Fredrik and Luis and Ryan, because Luis has gotten into it twice now.
Oy.
He got into it with Ryan. Now he's gotten into it, with Fredrik. So we have to see what happens with that.
Yes.
But next we're going to bring you some news and gossip.
Ooh.
All right. Well, Fredrik, his real estate firm, Douglas Elliman Real Estate, I want to tell you guys, our listeners and our viewers, they have an amazing website. If you want to see more of these properties, because I know when you watch the show, you get to see all the properties, and they're beautiful, and we get to see every aspect of the property, the bathrooms, the kitchen, everything. On this website, which is the Eklund Gomez team, you can actually like Google it, and it'll come right up, with them. But you see listings from 400,000 to 42 million. And it's really great to look at. I mean, I was scrolling through there for a long time because I thought,
it'd just be really pretty
beautiful
photos to look at.
I mean, and it starts with the
good
most
for a
expensive.
vision board.
It is really nice because it starts with like the $42 million properties, and goes down from there. But as I was scrolling and got down to like 400,000 and 300,000, they were all really nice. They all looked really nice. And they also have a rental division, as well.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of the real estate brokers don't like the rental thing, but there's still money in renting.
But there's usually, and I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure there are people who kind of deal with the renting, and there are people who deal with the just the full out buying.
Okay.
And I think, sometimes they cross over and each do the other thing, but I'm pretty sure you probably start out in rentals. And I could be wrong, but that's the way it worked back when I was there.
Well, they had some nice rental properties. I mean, really, really nice properties. But the interesting thing that happened is I'm looking at these properties and I'm scrolling, and then all of a sudden it looks a little different. Doesn't really look like New York anymore. And I realized that I'm in the Hamptons. Then I'm scrolling and I'm looking, and I'm like, well, this doesn't really look like the United States anymore. I'm in Stockholm.
Ooh.
I'm in Sweden. And so he's got properties in Sweden where he's from, and they're gorgeous properties with all this lush landscaping, and they just look like castles, and they're absolutely beautiful. So you guys definitely log on and check that out. And along with that, as we talk about these lush gardens, I read an article that was actually on this website that courtyards are becoming the new thing in New York City.
Oh,
yeah.
Outdoor space.
New Yorkers want their backyard. Now, I'm a big backyard girl. I love a backyard, a front porch. I'm probably more of the country girl. But I have to say that New Yorkers are getting that European feel and turning their terraces and other properties, gardens into lush.
I'll say I feel like more and more buildings that are being developed in New York, there's a garden, or there's a pool, or there's some sort of focus on the outdoors, because that's something that it has been lacking
Yeah.
for really,
Well, they
a
say
very
that
long
this
time.
New York developer, Roy Stillman, was traveling in Paris and brought back this whole idea of landscaping. And so it turned it into a whole business where you can get this landscaping done if you buy a property and have, a little patio or a terrace. You can
That's
turn
very
it
cool.
into feeling very outdoor. Maybe add a fountain, maybe have like the outdoor what is it, fireplace, with like the
Yeah.
refrigerator and
Ooh,
the
and like
I
a big
love that
screen
stuff.
TV.
Yeah, big screen TV,
Yeah.
exactly. And they mentioned that, as well as, like a fire pit or a barbecue, because they know that New Yorkers, they don't have the backyard.
No.
So let's try to turn it into something
Well, I
that's...
also love, and it sounds like people are really trying to create the experience. We love experiences. So where can we have this beautiful outdoor place where we can hold more parties or just have that feeling of being somewhere outside of New York, but still being in the city. So it's just all about the experience.
Well, I love it. I mean, I thought this was really great, and I wanted to share it with you. So, if you get a chance, please go on to this website. It's his Ellerman, website, and you can put his name in and it pops up. Please check these properties out.
And then
comment and let us know.
he has this gorgeous new property, Barnes Vine, in the Hamptons, that is like a full service, new complexes that they're opening, concierge, interior decorators, really just creating beautiful homes. And the Hamptons for the summer is where it's at for New Yorkers. Everyone gets on the jitney and they go to the Hamptons. People either have homes, rent homes, go to their friends who have homes or rent homes. And it's just party after party after party after beach after margarita, you name it.
Okay, Hamptons this summer.
Yes, Hamptons
Okay.
during the summer is where New Yorkers go to play.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where they get their beach and their little weekend getaway.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's smart that he's getting into business. I'm sure he's been in business there for a while, but really putting a focus on the Hamptons. It's also bigger houses, so it's probably a nice change from the smallness of New York.
Yeah, the houses look beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
I have
gorgeous.
to say. They really look beautiful. So, that's another thing coming, the Hamptons. I'm going to have to check that out and do a little research on that.
Yes.
Okay, well, Lauren, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at The Fancy Hippie, on Instagram, The Fancy Hippie, or thefancyhippie.com.
Okay, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jocelyn Polite. That does it and wraps it up for us this week for $1 Million Listing New York. We will see you next week for another episode wrap up.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.